Welcome, everybody. This is a Shank Club NFL live on YouTube and on Twitter and on Periscope. My name is Nick Cork. Super Bowl weekend. 12 short months ago, the Niners were representing. We got hosed, holding calls, everything else. But that was then. This is now. This is the Super Bowl Preview Show. Carl, hit it. Welcome. We are the Shank Club NFL. There you go. Great intro. Thanks to Pete for sorting that out. But that's about all he's done because, unfortunately, he won't be on again this week because he can't have a haircut. And he looks like a reject from the Planet of the Apes films that they remade a little while ago. So he won't be with us. I'm hoping we are going to get Jeff Reinbold on. I have sent him the link. But we have our usual crew. And we are going to talk about all things NFL. And, of course, it's Super Bowl weekend. So we're going to be talking food, beer. And we might actually get on to speaking about the game. Because, let's face it, it is the showpiece of the NFL season. And without further ado, let's start bringing on some of our guests. As ever, Carl, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon, Nick. Yes, excited. It's Super Bowl weekend. This is where, we are all ecstatic to have it. But then we're also sad as well that after this game on Sunday night, there is none until August. But we will have a very good time.
And we're going to have plenty to talk about in the off-season because apparently the 49ers are recruiting about 65 QBs as it goes. So I have been warming my arm up in case I get the call from John Lynch, but you never know. So good to see you, Carl. Just got to tell everyone a bit of karma. Carl bought a snack helmet from a well-known supermarket, and before we went live, it crashed and burned. But there you go. Look, see? I thought the light was flashing last week. Have you broken the light, or is it just not?
No, it's all done by remote. It's all done by remote.
Get you 20 quid on a snack helmet, 50 quid on the lighting system. Like it.
Right. And one movement and it hits the deck.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's get on. And we actually do have, and it's going to be quite interesting, we do have two brothers on the show today. So let's bring on the Shark, who's been on with us before. Shark, how you doing, Sam? You well?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, as well as you can be. Nervous, obviously. We've got two big sporting events this weekend, but concentrating on this one mostly is far more important. So, yeah, just excited. Waiting.
Yeah, indeed. And I also have to say that, he did. Sam, you did upset me sending me that picture in direct message of that helmet you won. Can't wait when you get it. When you get it, obviously we want to see you wear it if it's a full size one because that'd just be really funny. So we are going to
admit, I have wore the Tom Brady one.
Oh dear! Did you sleep in it though? Because Carl would have done.
I mean, it's a Pats one, so it's not quite that affectionate to me. Plus, this was pre this all happening. This was before it even signed for Tampa, so that was just a sort of an extra delight, and then obviously everything that's come with it.
Right. Well, there you go. So you got some good memorabilia coming up. Right, we are going to bring Shark 2 on. Shark 2.
I don't mind being Shark 2.
Eagles
I was
fan.
here first. I'm just saying, all right? No.
The lesser brother, yeah.
James, how are you? How you doing?
Yeah,
Welcome
very
along
good,
to the
very
show.
good. Thank you for having
Good
me. I
man.
appreciate it.
Nice. That's awesome. Glad to have you on. Obviously, we are going to We are going to speak all things NFL, and Carson Wentz, I'm sure, is going to come up as long as some Super Bowl stuff. So we'll put you through that. Don't worry.
Can't wait.
Let's bring on another regular to the Shank Club. Got a message there, I believe. John, you're on mute, my son. You have to take yourself off of mute, otherwise no one can hear you. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you, John.
Yeah, all good here. All good here. How's it looking for the Super Bowl for you? Is it big build up over there in the States? Biggest sporting event?
Oh yeah, man. And I have PTSD, and it reminds me of last year and timelines and social media and every other goddamn thing. And everybody's quick to remind me how we blew it. So this year couldn't come any sooner, and I wish it would go as fast as it came, man. I just want the Super Bowl over, man. I want to sort through 177 quarterbacks that the 49ers are suspected to land. But yeah, Nick, it is. It's pretty crazy out here, man. I mean, they make a big deal about it. The networks go crazy. I do know that a lot of the commercials this year are going to be withheld for I guess for the sake of COVID testing and everything. They're going to put the money to different places to try to facilitate the COVID vaccine. They're going to rent out different, I guess Santa Clara, we're going to be the largest COVID vaccination site in the country. So that's kind of pretty cool. And that's being sponsored by quite a few different networks. And I don't know, it's going to be kind of nice. I guess it kind of puts the money where it belongs rather than, into commercials,
Yeah, definitely. I think we would all agree that is a great sentiment from all the companies involved doing that. Obviously, not getting too political, I don't think the last administration helped with, obviously, we are far ahead in vaccines. I think over here we've done probably at the end of the day today, over 11 million have been vaccinated.
That's incredible.
Another million have had the second one. So it's in a way it's good.
We have a waiting period, I guess.
I'm just saying, just give us our pubs back. I'm fed up now.
I work in a pub. Let's not give us pub backs. Let's give Sam more time off. That's what we need to do.
Just out of interest, John, with the vaccine, because obviously we get it free here because it's the NHS and our health system is free. Do you actually have to pay for your vaccines over there?
No. That's facilitated also. No, you don't pay for it. So now it's more like, we're doing it in age groups. So some of the handicapped and elderly get it first. And then it just gets, I guess it gets sorted out, distributed according to these groups. So, it's good. I mean, it facilitates the people that need it first. I don't know, man. I think we could roll it quicker though. Right now it's just certain like fire departments and stuff. They are, they're doing it. Some medical centers, first responders obviously were first. So I don't know, man. I don't think we're getting it out quick enough. I think that's the biggest complaint here. And you have 11 million vaccinated already. That's insane. That's insane.
Well,
I don't even know how many we vaccinated to date. To be honest, you got to wait 28 days.
Well, they say over here.
Shot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they've said over here that I think there's 9 categories or something will be done by May. So I don't know how many millions that is, but I think, and as again, not getting political again, I think it's probably one of the best things the government over here actually did, because they've dillied and dallied and fucked about with lockdown, not lockdown, shut this, open this, do this. But we have been pretty much on point with our vaccinations, which is good. And talking of smug people, let's get him on. There he is. You got What's 1S? Oh, it's 15. Sorry, I thought that was a 1S jersey. Scott,
Hey,
my man, how are you?
I'm good, Nick. Saving the best for last. True professional.
Oh, I don't know. We've got one more to get on yet, so you're not the best till last, but you
John,
obviously can't see.
And I'm disappointed by John's message here at the bottom of his screen. After all the excuses I made for your guys' team sucking ass.
What did I type? That's my name. Didn't that say John V?
No.
I swear I thought it said John V.
After all the excuses I made and how badly I went out of my way to try to make y'all feel better, that's the return I get. So.
Scott, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, can never bring back the 7 minutes that messed my life up for the longest time, man. I have been in depression since. It's hard to wear this every day and not be reminded of that 7 minutes of my life that just took a shit dive, dude. But, you know, I got to tell you, man, I swear I had caps on and it was just John V. I don't know what happened there, man.
Your finger obviously slipped. Right, we got one more guy to bring on.
Afternoon all.
Hey, Ivan, what's cracking, buddy?
How you doing, John?
How you doing,
Look at that,
buddy?
he hasn't got a hat on. That's amazing. And what I will say, Ivan, and I did say this on Twitter yesterday. You posted a picture last week of your daughter. She obviously gets her looks not from you, but from her mother.
You asshole.
It's nice.
Very true.
It's nice of Scott to say save the best for last. I appreciate that, Scott.
You weren't in the lobby before we went live, so I was the last person that was in the lobby to come on. But yeah, I'll give it to you.
That's what you call a sucker punch. Carl's Wi-Fi has just gone down, I believe. I think he's come back. Hang on, let's just check.
Hey, Nick, you know what? Real quick,
Yes.
man. We vaccinated 27 million Americans received the first dose, and 6 million have been fully vaccinated currently.
Jesus, but that's good.
So
but
I was wrong.
bear in
We
mind-
actually are hustling.
You
And
are,
it's
you
not
see.
fast
So God bless America. And
And we
talking of
developed
God
the
bless
vaccine
America,
too, by the way.
look at this.
Hey, coach.
What's up, guys? Mr. Rogers, baby, are you ready? It's about 24 hours away.
Going back to back, Jeff.
Shark, what do you think?
Yeah, probably less confident than Mr. Rogers. Probably less confident. I've not done this before, but yeah, we're excited. It's Super Bowl weekend. Let's get excited.
How about you, James?
I got to go with my brother on this, so I'm backing Brady all the way. He's been there, done it, got the T-shirt. I think he's going to get him over the line.
What's that? What the Chiefs? What's that say right there?
Oh, that says John V. Actually, that says John V.
Hellhound, how's it going in the pound?
Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Yeah, great.
Good, mate.
We had a great
Good, mate.
season. Looking forward to the next one.
Yep. Nick, how's
So,
it
Jeff-
with you, man? Yes, sir.
Yeah, all good, all good. And we were talking earlier just before you came on about it was a year ago. The Niners were there. We got hosed 7.5 minutes away from winning it all. We're now recruiting 65 quarterbacks next season because Jimmy G's not good enough. We've been linked with everyone from Joe Montana to, well, everyone except Patrick Mahomes, bizarrely. I'm quite interested, Jeff, while you're on, actually, because obviously I've seen you posting a lot of your Super Bowl memories, obviously working with Sky. If you could single out, apart from meeting me at Twickenham a few years ago, what is your unbiding best Super Bowl memory that you've had?
Wow. I think it was probably watching Emmanuel Sanders win it when he was in Denver and seeing him have the confetti fall on him, because I had watched, his rookie year, he went with the Steelers and they got beat by the Packers. And then, obviously last year he had that chance it would have been the game. He ran that post cut against bracket coverage and Jimmy G overthrew him by about 3 yards. If not, it would have been a touchdown to win the game. But to know that a guy that you've got a little bit of history with, to watch them become a world champion. I mean, it's hard to explain it, what it feels like.
Definitely. And I'm guessing as well, do you get good access to all because obviously you've got press credentials when you're actually there with Sky, whatever. Do you get good access to the players, or is it all regimented and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't?
It's really interesting. There's so many. It's so different. Obviously you get into all the media stuff, but when you have a bond with a player, when like for example, I've had Michael Bennett, Emmanuel, Aldrick Robinson, Garrett Dieter. I have a number of players play in the game. So when you know those guys, obviously, and the coaches that I know, you get a little bit different. I'll tell you the funniest thing that ever happened to me was it was at that Broncos Super Bowl, and I'm trying to think of the name of the tight end that they had that had been with the 49ers. Really, really, really great kid, really nice kid. Yeah, the Broncos had a tight end that had been with the 49ers, and he was a really good tight end for the 49ers. It was at the end of his career. And we were doing this media thing, and all of a sudden Snoop Dogg comes in, and Snoop Dogg's got his whole entourage, and they come in, and and he's cruising around doing his thing. And I'm sitting at the media table, because they put the big guys on risers, and then everybody else is just kind of on the table. So I was sitting with this guy at one of the media tables, and we were talking, and Snoop Dogg came up behind him and was just kind of hanging out, right? But and there's cameras all over the place because of Snoop Dogg. So the guy turns and he looks at Snoop, and then I just for fun I just said, "Snoop, what the hell are you doing, man? I'm trying to work here." And he looked at me like I was completely out of my mind. But it was, I mean, anytime you can stun Snoop Dogg, that's a pretty good day, because
exactly.
My man is out there a little bit. But that was a fun one.
I can imagine he kind of looked at you and said, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Who's this little white dude telling me to move over?
So who have you got coming on to the thing tomorrow with Sky? Who have you got in the studio or remote? Who's coming on?
Well, Kirk Cousins is going to be in the pregame show. He's in the build-up with us, and then Cliff Averill, who won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks, is going to be in the stadium along with Dallas Clark, who won one with Indianapolis. They'll be at the stadium. Now, we were obviously, because we're all over here and the travel ban, we weren't able to go to the game. So those guys, because they're in America, will be in the booth, and then Sean and I'll be on the sofa, and Neil will be driving it as the quarterback, and we've got the Around the Podcast heroes will be with us on and off through the show, and so it's really going to be a good show. I look forward to it a great deal.
It's amazing, actually, how Sky's NFL coverage, and I have to admit, most of the time I watch Game Pass, Jeff. I do apologise.
You're killing me, man.
But
Absolutely killing me.
The times I've watched, and we'll get into this because I'd like to everyone else's views, obviously in the UK that watches the Sky coverage. Ever since the channel came along, I think Sky has raised the bar like they've done with all other sports, be it darts, snooker, whoever. And the times I've seen it, it's been really, really good. More than, 2 years ago even, it was kind of, but now it's really, really good. And I think the guys at Sky, Neil, yourself, deserve a lot of credit because it is becoming a more mainstream sport, and it just looks so much slicker now, Jeff. I don't know. And yeah, I'm sorry, I do watch Game Pass, but I like American adverts. You see, I can't stand English adverts. That's my excuse.
They are better.
Carl,
Well,
what do you? Sorry, Jeff, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, just, I really think it's important that people realize that the driving force behind all that obviously has been our producer, Alex Mason, who, never gets any credit and is always behind the scenes. And Patty Crowley and Greg Bushell, who are both assistant producers, young guys, really have brought some nice ideas, some interesting ideas, and some, I think much bigger view of what we want to be. Like you say, just instead of being now just I remember when we started, it was just a niche sport, and we were at Sky. They had this great big, we call it the bullpen, where like all the sports are represented in there, right? And at the head of the bullpen, in the luxury section, is the soccer guys, right? And then you just kind of move back. Well, we were all the way back. And I'm not kidding you. We were almost out of the room. We were next to fishing, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what else was back there. Boxing and fishing. Boxing was up a little bit, but we were next to fishing when we started. So it's changed a little bit. But I appreciate what you're saying. But those are the guys that really deserve the credit. And Neil's done an amazing job. Neil's had a tough go because, when you step in for a legend like Kevin Cato, that's really that's a big set of shoes to fill. And I think Neil's done an amazing job. And it's interesting. There was a lot of pushback when he first got that job because, as crazy as this sounds, English fans said, "Well, he speaks with an English accent. What can he know, right?" But as we know now, it's not all of a sudden you're not born with some intelligence, when you're born in the United States, and he's really brought his game, I think, up a ton. I'm really proud.
I think the biggest, and the NFL UK forums used to be awash with the TV coverage over here. I'm going back, I don't know how long Kevin's been dead, God rest his soul. But when Neil first took over, and we'll go around the room in a second. I think Neil maybe was trying a bit too hard, and he kind of came across as an Englishman, but speaking like with an American accent, if that makes sense. But now it's, all that's in the rearview mirror, and yeah, fair play to Neil. He does a great job, and I think all of us UK fans do appreciate the job that all of you do. And it's great that you get the podcast heroes on this year. And I think, again, because of having that official NFL channel now, that obviously has opened up Sky to getting a lot more of the ex-players, the podcast heroes, Baldy. But I love Baldy. I'd love to speak to Baldy. I think he's fantastic. And his funny finger as well. It's great. I love Baldy. So knowledgeable. Carl, what's your take on how Sky have done this year and stepped up? I think they've stepped up their game big style over here.
Yeah, Sky have definitely. From my view, I usually watch Red Zone on Sky Sports Mix 9 times out of 10, unless my team are playing in the 6 or 9:25 game, then I will immediately switch over because I do like the insight of what Neil and what Jeff and what Sean Gale actually do say. But no, regarding to Neil Reynolds, he has come a heck of a long way. I remember when I first started watching NFL back in 2010, and you had that shoddy Fox NFL screen behind you. It was, and yeah, it was just so unique to watch. And Neil was just basically just a normal analyst, just sitting back and just having his own input. To go from that to being a presenter now, he has done an amazing job, and so have Sky as well, with regarding of coverage, regarding of content, and this year as well, managing to get the NFL some of the NFL Network shows on there, like Good Morning Football and Total Access and that sort of thing. It opens up the dimensions of the NFL a lot more now than what it ever has been. Yeah,
definitely. Sam, what do you think of obviously. How do you generally watch the games? Are you on Sky, or are you a red zone guy?
I mean, a bit of everything. It really depends on circumstances for me, because say I'm hanging out with James or a couple of friends, it's usually an NFL Game Pass Red Zone sort of day. But I've been fortunate enough with the Brady effect. I've caught Sky Sports a couple of times this season, and it has been very good. It's been as I've in my lifetime, I've rarely seen Tampa on Sky. To be honest, we've just not been important nor good enough. But this season, I think I've seen quite a bit of like late night coverage, sort of a bit of everything. So yeah, I think it's far more enjoyable. It's sort of got like the Sky Sports News set up to it now, with a bit more statistics and less sort of like bland space on the screen as well. So apart from a couple of better people on the sofa, I think they've done a lot of improving. So
it's a tough room I stepped into.
Wow.
Jeff, as ever, you're always welcome, but I don't think you'll be back after this.
I didn't know I was going to take a beating in here.
So it's because Pete's gone. I've got to go for somebody. Sorry.
Yeah, well, Pete, I tell you what, I'm really disappointed in Pete, because the Steelers got pounded by the Browns, and Pete's he's in the witness protection program.
He is. Who's got Bob Marley playing in the background?
Who's got Bob Marley?
That's my ringtone. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got really confused. I was like, "Is someone played Bob Marley behind me?"
I was going to say, Jeff, I thought you were actually in your room, not in the bar again, where the baby was playing the last time.
I thought John was lip syncing there at one point.
Yeah, he did look like it. James, what's your view? Come on, let's have some positivity about Sky. Come on.
Genuine. I mean, I remember going back I remember Kevin Cato and Nick Halling. Was it Nick Halling? Was that his name?
Nick Halling. That's what I started.
The entire evolution from the international series coming over from one game a year, now we're up to 4. I think the way Sky have also handled things, and I would go beyond just 1 to 2 years. I would go back 10 to almost a decade now. And the snowball effect that it's had. I remember saying that I was an American football fan in 2010. And people would look at me very strangely, like, why do you like this sport? It's so stop-start. You do 3.5 hours to watch 60 minutes. You don't understand. Like, now, I say I'm an American football fan. You will get people giving you their team, and I think it's been absolutely amazing. And it's really nice to know that it's now been justified almost, and I almost have like a little bit of a veteran effect to it. That people come up to me, I support this whatever team, and I'm like, yes, but do you really support them? Tell me a Hall of Fame player right now. So I give Jeff, Neil, everyone a lot of credit for that, and I think the way they've grown the game. And I must admit, I was probably one of those when Neil first took over. Wasn't a big fan. It was very chalk and cheese for me. But over time, he's worn me down. I'll give the man credit. And if anything, if I met him nowadays, I'd probably apologize and go, "Sorry."
But that's what. It does polarize opinions, as Jeff said, because he was taking over from someone that obviously had been around for a long time. He was a big presence. He was a big guy. And I certainly wouldn't have wanted to have been in Neil's position, I must admit, because you're taking over from someone that was well loved. And I honestly think when Kevin passed, I think all of the UK NFL community kind of felt it, a bit like Captain Tom, who died sadly the other day. It was a big loss, and fair play to Neil. He picked up the mantle and he's run with it, and he's been there ever since, and he's doing a great job. Obviously, Scott and John are sitting there thinking, "What's this guy? What are they talking about?" But we will get their opinions anyway, Jeff, because they've probably never seen Sky Sports, so you might be all right with these two. But Ivan, what do you think of Sky and how it's come along this season, and just generally how they have?
I'm going to try to watch it. I'm going to try to get it on the Fire Stick. I think I can.
I mean, Nick, when did you start watching? I started watching NFL in about the mid-'80s. So
Channel 4.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just been a long while, and it's got better and better and better. So what I really enjoy is there's 2 things I really enjoy. I like it when shows talk tactics, because I've been following this game for a long time, and I still don't know half about it, you know. So I love it when analysts get up there and they talk tactics, and so that's been tremendous, really. And then people like Jeff, I mean, going on shows, you know, promoting the NFL is just phenomenal. You know, the more that, you know, legends like Jeff come on shows like this, and you know, the quicker it's going to, or even bigger, it's going to accelerate in this country. You know, and that's what I want to see, because to me it's the best sport in the world. So, you know, I want to see it up there with football, soccer in this country, and you know, and it's been brilliant. So yeah, great show they're putting on, and it keeps getting better and better, and well done.
There you go, Jeff. You see, there's always one there's always one.
You know what? You know what's really difficult is because, you know, we have such a wide range of people who watch. You've got some newbies who are just new to the sport, and then you've got guys like you guys that have been, you know, you're deeply embedded in it and love it, and you know, you got your favorite teams, favorite players, all that stuff. It's trying to bridge the gap, you know, and so that the show's for everybody. And I know for me, it's frustrating because, for example, I'm gonna do some telestration tomorrow before the Super Bowl about the last game that these two teams played and break down the plays and the matchups and all that stuff. You just don't have enough time. I mean, I got 4 minutes, and you know, it's such a beautiful, intricate, unbelievably special game played by tremendous athletes. I mean, I could spend 30 minutes on Travis Kelce alone, right? Breaking his game down. But you got to try and do it in 4 plays and do it in, you know, in 4 minutes. And that, you know, so I think there's room. I really think there's room now in this market for another show, a spinoff show that's more tactical based and more, you know, involved. And so that when the fan does watch, even if he watches on Red Zone, when he does watch on Red Zone on Sunday, he can understand why, you know, what the zone read is, why you know, Patrick Mahomes is so dangerous when he extends plays, why Tom Brady's great at moving the safety with his eyes, you know, how you try and create an overload blitz and all those kind of things. That really, like soccer is that far ahead of us, and we got to kind of, I think, bridge that gap, because if not, the really good fans, like you guys, they'll get bored. They'll get bored with the show because they want more. They want more, you know, content, which I think, you know, is what we're always struggling with.
That's a very good point you say that, Jeff, because obviously, I mean, I've been an American. I go back to 1979 when I first started watching the sport or reading about it, and then it evolved and it came on the screens over here. In the early days of Channel 4, there was no live NFL. There was no live. It was Frank Gifford, and he would do.
Wow, that's a long time ago, man. Wow.
Maybe an hour. You wouldn't get anything live. It would be all the stuff from the previous week. And then obviously then it started, you getting live games and whatever. And Channel 4 with Nicky Horn on a Sunday was, to a fan who was just getting into it, it was fantastic. And then it evolved, and then they kind of lost their way a bit. And I can't think of who they used to have doing it. The Dangerous Boys, the Nasty Boys, or some, and it was just awful. And then all of a sudden, Sky picked it up, and they ran with it. But it wasn't what it is now. And I love how everyone has taken American football seriously now. It didn't used to be, but now it is.
You know, I'll tell you something, Nick. Let me just say this, because I think this is really important. Like last night on Coffee with Coach, we had the Steelers offensive line coach on. And after we were done, and he took questions from, you know, people on Twitter, and after we were done, he said to me, he goes, "I can't believe how much they know about us, right? Because he got questions about Pouncey and all that. I mean, he didn't expect that at all coming from the UK audience. And that's been the reaction that we've gotten every single time we've had a coach on or we brought a player over, all that stuff. They just go, wow, those people know what the hell they're talking about. Because like I said, he got some great questions last night. So I think that's a credit to everybody in the UK, and it's just an indication of why the NFL is so determined to come back here this year with the international games.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually going to bring that up and get your opinion on that, Jeff. Obviously, there was a statement from Roger Goodell yesterday or Thursday saying about bringing the games back. And obviously, everyone wants it in a safe environment and stuff. But it didn't mention about having fans in the stadium, which obviously I can't see the point of bringing 4 games over here if you're not having any fans in the stadium. It kind of doesn't make sense to me. Now, from an NFL standpoint, is it just to obviously keep their brand fresh in the UK and around the world? Do you think they bring teams over here, in a bubble or whatever, but have no fans in the stadium? To me, that makes no sense.
Well, I think that's probably the least desirable scenario for them, because obviously they want that, the 85,000 paying customers, and the hype of. I'll tell you what, those international games, and for the guys from the States, next to the Super Bowl, those international games are the best environment I've ever been around in a professional football game. I mean, it's just amazing. So I think the NFL realizes that and knows that. But the biggest part of that is because of the fans. And so I think that what they're counting on is that the vaccination plan goes forward and, that we get behind this COVID thing as fast as we can. Now, they're not going to put players at risk to bring them over here. I mean, we talked about all the time about how tough the COVID testing is. Kirk Cousins told me the other day that he had just under 900 COVID tests himself during the NFL season. So that's an indication of, just how tightly they monitored it. But hey, guys, I got to jump off, but I wanted to say thank you, and I'll see you. Nick, I'm going back to Hawaii next week, so I hope we get a chance to do this from the islands. You guys, Mr. Rogers, baby, let's go, huh? It is time. So you know that the Chiefs are going to win. I'm just telling you right now.
This is what I mean about these bad presenters.
That's what I'm talking about. You take a shot at me, I'm going to take one right back.
Jeff,
hey, guys.
Spoiler alert.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff,
you guys take care. Great to visit with you.
Pleasure.
Yes,
Take care, Jeff.
right. Much aloha.
Always a pleasure.
All right, guys.
Dion, what's good,
there
brother?
you go.
Hey,
Jeff
what's going on,
Reinbold,
guys? What's going on,
shots.
gents? How y'all doing this morning?
Dion, the legend.
Good evening, Dion.
Dion.
Mr. Rogers, how you feeling, baby? One more day, man.
I'm good. I'm ready.
Good? You good? You confident?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I need Patrick Mahomes to beat the shit out of Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady.
God damn it, Dion. What the hell's going on?
John, what?
Oh, there you go. You started it now, Dion. You started it now.
Oh, sweet baby
done.
Jesus. He did it. He put that trash uniform up in there.
You're talking a lot of shit with a man with as many rings as your franchise.
Wait.
Now,
Hold on.
Start bringing the fire.
When he's trying to eat his
I think he was saying that Joe Montana is the actual GOAT because he won 4 Super Bowls, never lost in the Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls?
No. Joe Montana is Kirk Cousins if he won night games. That's what Joe Montana is.
Get him out. Delete him. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Tom Brady would not have survived to be 43 years old.
Disrespect Mr. Montana like that. Do it. Okay, look.
My hand is going.
I'm telling you, it's right there. Let me give you this. since you want to be disrespectful, Joe Montana, the greatest of all time, the man who went to 4 Super Bowls and never lost one. He won all of them, okay? Every single one. Let me explain something to you. He's your current quarterback's hero, okay? And at the same time, he never went and got whooped on by the same dude twice who was definitely lesser of a quarterback than him. Because we all know Eli ain't no Tom Brady. As much as I don't like Brady, I'm one of those people I will always respect greatness. I always have. God bless the dead and Kobe Bryant. Never cared for him. Never really liked him. But I knew he was great. He's the closest thing to Michael Jordan ever. Because it ain't LeBron. You know why? Because LeBron seems to like to lose a lot when he goes to the finals. And now magically he hit this stride. But see, here's the thing about Tom Brady. Brady had a system. Brady had Belichick. They were married, and it worked. And what he did with this year, I'll give him credit. He goes out and he says, you know what? I don't need him. He needs me. And now he's in the Super Bowl, and what's Bill doing? Sitting at home. Missed the playoffs for the first time in how many years, Carl?
2008, I think it was. So when 11 and 5 and missed the playoffs.
2008, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
2008, when Brady tore his ACL.
And that was the year that Matt Castle took y'all to 11 and 5, and y'all magically wound up missing the playoffs. Was that not the year? I think that was Mr. Butt Fumble Mark Sanchez. That was when the Jets got over y'all, right?
what an era.
I think so. But that to me is a mystery in that of itself. How do you go 11 and 5 and miss the goddamn playoffs? That tells you the AFC was extremely competitive that year. But
tell that to the Dolphins this year. They were.
Yeah, man. But hey, I will say this: as much as you would like to disrespect Joe Montana, at the end of the day, Joe Montana can make sure that he walks around and says, "I've been to the mountaintop 4 times and never lost." While Mr. Brady can get up there and go, I've been to the mountaintop 1,000,000 times, and I've lost a couple of times, but I won a few. You know, I mean, you can say, hey, possibly he may have 7 rings. He may be the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl in his home stadium. But I think Mr. Rogers' quarterback is a little bit younger and just a little bit better. As much as I didn't like what he did to us, I'd rather have him win than Tom Brady. Just something about him. That butt chin that he's got just doesn't work for me.
And speaking of Kirk Cousins, passer rating was ranked right 1 number ahead of Tom Brady this year. So,
what's Kirk Cousins doing Sunday? Somebody tell me what Kirk Cousins is doing Sunday.
He's on with Jeff on Sky Sports.
Yeah, he's on Sky Sports.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, we all know Cousins is trash, though. We don't want him anywhere near our franchise. Me, Nick, and John, we have no. We don't want him anywhere near our franchise.
That's a good point then. Whilst you're talking about great 49ers QB, who do you want to be the next then?
For me, if you want me to be flat out honest with you, I'll take a healthy Dak Prescott because I don't have to give up my whole roster for him. And the reason being is because as much as everybody likes Deshaun Watson and all of the things that he brings to the table, yes, he is a great quarterback. At the end of the day, he's no different than Matthew Stafford because neither of them has really won anything. Let me tell you that. I know you look at crazy, but neither
Deshaun
one of them
Watson's
have
like
never
7
won
years younger.
But Deshaun Watson will cost you half of your fucking bank balance.
You will mortgage as much as we joke about the Rams mortgaging their future with Jalen Ramsey and Matthew Stafford and not having a first round pick the last 6, 8 years, whatever the case may be. The issue is that I don't want to give up everything under the sun to get one person. And Deshaun has made it very clear that he does not want to go to a franchise where they gave up everything to get him, and now he's there with nothing. That doesn't make sense. See, for me, I'll tell you this, and I always go back to this. I've made this point several times. It's about money with certain players. Matthew Stafford knew his ass was going to get paid by the Detroit Lions, and he stayed there all them years. And now randomly, when you getting older and you're in your 30s and you're in your mid-30s, now you want to go ahead. Callie, don't you put that bad evil on us. I don't want them to do that. You stop that. Stop that, Callie. I don't want to know. So what Stafford did was he sat there, he got paid. And now on the back end of your career, you say, "Oh, I want to go to LA. I want to go with Sean McVay. My family has a home in Newport Beach. Let me go get some, let me go get some of that LA money." And that's stupid because I can tell you right now, California is my home. That's where I'm from. I love it. But the goddamn taxes are out fucking outrageous. So you go there and you think you just randomly finna win a championship? You mean to tell me Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are better than Marvin Jones? And what's the other guy they had?
Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, Kenny Golladay, because I can tell you right now, those receivers are a lot better than Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. I know they are. And what are they? Free agents. You don't think he's going to vie to get those dudes in the door? I guarantee you he's going to see if he can try to get them in there. That's just how it works. But for me, I love Dak Prescott, and I think that his skill set and his mentality would fit perfect in the system with Shanahan. And Shanahan can open the playbook up more to do things differently. The only thing is, where do you ship Jimmy? Where do you send him? Do you send him to Chicago, back home where he's from? Can you call Bill and say, "Hey, look, I know he ain't been playing great. I know he's been injured often. Let me just get that 2 back that I gave you, that you gave us a couple years ago, and we're even." You know what I'm saying? There's plans for it, but I would take Dak just strictly based on the fact that if he hits free agency, it's easier for me to draw up a new contract, pay him, get Jimmy's contract off my books, cut D Ford, cut Weston Richburg, open up some cap space, and grab a couple of players and make sure that we re-sign a few dudes to be able to solidify things. Could you imagine Dak Prescott in Kyle Shanahan's system? He would kill people.
Also,
Go on, man.
Also, as well, if Dak Prescott does go to the 49ers, he will be going to a franchise where he will be appreciated. Jerry Jones does not appreciate Dak Prescott. He likes the smell of his own farts a little bit too much.
There you go.
Yep. If Jerry Jones likes nobody, let's be honest.
Jerry Jones like Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
he likes him. He like his kids, and he like his money.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is his own worst enemy at the moment with those Cowboys.
When it comes to football, he is his own worst enemy. The man is a great businessman.
That's why
he is extreme. Yeah, he's quite astute in the business world. Very, very smart. I'll take Stephen A. Smith's approach with him as a businessman. Hey man, you want to learn from that dude. You want to pick his brain. You want to understand how things work. But then when it comes to football, get out of your own way. Don't be Callie. Callie, come on, man.
So you can't say it's not going to happen. Like, I guarantee you put 100 UK NFL fans on the screen and ask them if they thought Tom Brady would be playing in this Super Bowl as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. They tell you that would not happen 1 year ago. So you can in this league.
I don't know, man. A lot of people thought that, a lot of people already kind of knew, man, that Tom Brady was the driving force, so to speak, to that offense. I mean, look, man. Make no mistake, Tom Brady he's great, man, but would he be doing this, playing the game in the 90s, in the 80s? Would he be 43 years old playing football, getting your head knocked off? I mean, I just think that it's like a LeBron, Michael Jordan thing, man. Different eras, We can sit here and say somebody's great. I mean, they're great now. They were like Joe Montana's a legend, man. I mean, I don't see Tom Brady playing football in 1989, 1994, 1995. I just don't see it. I don't see him being the guy that he is today. He's protected by a bunch of rules and a bunch of the game's played different, man. It's softer. It's not the gladiator sport that it once was. So
no, fair enough.
I mean, we can't sit here and say Joe Montana wouldn't. Joe Montana would have 7 rings today, man. There's no doubt about it. You take that team, take it out of that era, bring it into this era. There's no comparison. I mean, we were bust you in your mouth football, man.
Yeah, I disagree. You'd have got flagged 30 times a game. Ronnie wouldn't have got away with half the crap he used to. So,
I mean,
Ronnie Lott would have still been killing motherfuckers.
Ronnie Lott would still have a fucking finger today.
I get the point you're making, but just.
I'm not going to lie to you though. If I'm a ref and I get a dead look in the eye of Ronnie Lott after hitting somebody after he massacres them, I'm not throwing a flag.
I'm not throwing the flag.
I'm not that fucking brave. It's as simple as I'm just not that brave. Okay?
Fellas, Ronnie Lott would still have a finger today if the rules were the same. Anyway, let's listen this way. Look at it this way. I got something I want to address. So over the week here, Andy Reid's son has been pulled over for driving under the influence of alcohol and Adderall, and he endangered his son, and I believe 2 other children. Was that in the other car, the oncoming car?
Oh,
Yeah, I think it was an opposite direction car. Yeah.
So I feel for that family, man. I feel for those children. How do you guys feel that this addresses, or I'm sorry, how do you feel that this, how does it affect Andy Reid's, his mental state throughout all of this? Scott, how do you feel?
That's an interesting question.
How do you, do you, as a fan base, do you guys fear that he may be out of his, I don't want to say he's not out of his mind, but he's out of his
headspace.
I mean, clearly he's out of touch. With his grandson is facing life-threatening injuries. His son is potentially facing, charges based on that toxicology report. How do you feel this affects the team moving forward as a whole?
Scott, what do you think?
Well, so the incident, there was an accident, and it wasn't Britt Reid's son. There was a 5-year-old boy that was in the car that Britt Reid ran into.
Oh, okay. I was reading it on the screen. I just saw this morning. I haven't heard much about it. I was working all day yesterday. I missed the news. Okay.
Yeah,
I believe he was found with alcohol in his system, though.
Supposedly, when he was asked by the police if he had been drinking, they smelled alcohol. He said he had a couple drinks, 2 or 3 drinks or something, and he had taken Adderall. So, yeah, it doesn't look good for him. It's got to weigh on Andy Reid's mind. How much? I can't speak to that. I obviously can't live inside someone else's head.
Right.
He's dealt with issues with his sons for a long, long time, and he's been able to be a successful football coach. So, I mean, it's not good, right? You don't want that to happen. You don't want that news to come out the Friday before the Super Bowl. But is it something I think is going to have an impact large enough to swing or impact the outcome of the game? I don't see that.
If I remember,
I thought he hurt his son.
No.
So he hurt someone in an oncoming vehicle. Okay.
There was a parked vehicle that was on the side of the road that it ran out of gas, and somebody stopped to help them, and he ran into them. Is what I've heard, what I read last night.
Okay.
So yeah, not good for him. Yeah, it's just a bad situation.
Yep.
Prayers up for the people that were injured in that accident, especially that little boy that's in the hospital. Just awful that stuff like this happens.
Yep.
But unfortunately, that's kind of part of now, and we've spoken about this a lot on this channel, and we are going to carry on going around discussing, obviously, what John's brought up. Does this guy get a job back in the NFL after all this is blown over? Is he done?
I don't believe so.
No,
there's too much media press. It's Super Bowl week. That everyone's going to hear about this. This is a tough sell to any team. This is a really tough sell.
It's kind of like then. Sorry, go ahead, Carl.
And also, we're in the day and age now where you're one click away on your phone from an Uber. Why did you have to do? I don't understand why he had to do that.
Correct. I mean, this is day in, day out, year after year, guys. We hear these horror stories every fucking day on the news, man. Every fucking day here in the States, somebody fucks up, somebody gets hurt, or frankly, there's just, 10,000 fucking DUIs a year in the state of Ohio. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, man. Like Carl says, man, you're one click away, dude. It's 2021. Like, we haven't heard a horror story that could fucking change the result. I mean, come on, man. That's what upsets me the most, and it's always other people that suffer. You know what I mean? It's always it's always someone else that was just doing nothing or just staying in their lane or they just fall victim to stupidity, man. And it's never fucking worth it, man. It's never worth it. We've got billboards around here, you guys. I don't know about the UK, but they say DUIs, you can't afford it. And I mean, it speaks for itself because I mean, it takes the costs for attorneys, the DUI itself, court costs, the whole 9 yards. I mean, the average DUI here costs over $10,000, but by the time, you lock down, an attorney and you fight and you pay the costs and the fees and you go to jail and I mean, you got all kinds of shit. There's probation and all kinds of shit. It's just, it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The thing that amazes me mostly about obviously going from one extreme to the other, and we have it with soccer players here in the UK, they're paid millions of fucking pounds, dollars, and they can't ring an Uber, and then they go and do what happened. Who was that? Arizona. I think he was with Arizona, and they found him in the middle of the road in his car with a door open, slumped over a couple of years ago.
That was the owner, wasn't it? Wasn't that the owner or the GM?
It was a GM.
No, but it was a GM. It was a GM.
There was a wide receiver that did it, and I think he then transferred to another. I can't remember, but it's
actually an ex-wide receiver for the dog for Hellhound. Dante Stallworth did it. He was flying in his Ferrari. I think he basically was on the hook for vehicular manslaughter. I mean, I don't know how he did it, but he got off.
We also had a Gator wide receiver, I've forgotten his name, just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So.
No, you're right. You were right with that, Mr. Rogers. When you, I know. I know how he got off. I'm just saying, like that's flat out ridiculous. I've seen that before, and I know it's crazy. When it comes to that, everybody knows. Like, I'll tell you this: there's two sides to the coin here when it comes to this, and there's nothing that's good for either one. I'll tell you this: the worst part of it is when you go to that, you drive to that club, and you go there, you get drunk, and then you're like, oh, let me call an Uber. You can't park your car overnight in that parking lot. They're going to tell you shit. So you're thinking, I may be a little tipsy, but I should be good enough to make it home. Because if not, it's going to cost me almost $2,000 to go get my car out of the impound lot from me having drinks that night. Where you should have been smart enough to just take the Uber, Lyft, Vail, Mio, whatever the fuck. They got all kinds of shit out here to take it there and then take it home rather than driving your car. Don't be smart. And if you're trying to be flying flashy, everybody's got a friend who doesn't drink. I have friends who just don't drink. They don't drink alcohol. You can just tell that person, hey man, I give you $20, man. Just take it to the club, drop me out back at the house. We good. And it's real simple. Like there's ways around it, and there's no reason for any of this stuff to happen. But people just automatically think, I know my limit and I'm good, I'll be fine. But then when you're impaired and you wind up on the wrong side of the fucking road, I drove yesterday in broad fucking daylight. I was driving, taking my wife to the mall. And you know what I saw? A car in a ditch. And it was in a ditch of a gas station. But the weird part is the way the car was sitting, I had no idea how the fuck it got there. And I was sitting there like trying to like put it in my head, like how in the hell did this car get here? And what happens? Somebody was drinking. So you never know how any of this, like some of this stuff, the things you do while you're inebriated, man, it's crazy. I know for me personally, I've been inebriated on many occasions and not even remembered half the fucking night. But I don't go out driving when I get like that. I stay my ass somewhere still. And I'll tell you this, the easiest thing you can do is if you're, and I learned this a long time ago from one of my friends, is if you're drinking and you feel like you're going to drink like that, drink that and water. The water will continue to clean you out and make you piss and keep you upright. It'll at least keep you hydrated. I'm not saying it's going to keep you from getting drunk, but at least you'll still have your sense in you. And at the same time, just learn not to do stupid shit like this. Just don't. Be safe. Man, when I was younger, I went out with my friends plenty of times. We had a buddy of ours named Kevin. Kevin was a holy roller, as I like to call him. This man was Jesus everything. He don't drink. And Kevin loved to hang with us because he would laugh his ass off. But you know what? He always took care of us when we were drunk. Somebody threw up, he was right there to clean it up. He was that friend. You need to have that person around you that learns how to tell you no. And that's the problem. Some people don't have that, and or if they do have it, they continually neglect and or forget about it, and you put yourself in those positions. Man, you can't, because there's other lives at stake. You just have to be smart about it, you know. And if you know that's what's gonna happen, man, it's real simple. It's like you said, just hit the button, man. It's real easy. I'd rather pay $20 for you to drive me home than wind up paying $10,000 to $20,000 and or paying, you know, with my life in prison with dudes that really did some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Because chances are they're gonna put you in prison with people that really did some crazy and some gnarly stuff. And now you sitting there with a dude that murdered 80 people, and he just murdered people for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's all he knows. Just because you decided to drive drunk, that's stupid. Don't just. It's better options in the world, you know, for you to do it. Or if anything, hell, get drunk in the comfort of your own home. That's real easy. You can't tell me nothing about being plastered on my own damn floor. Shit, if I'm knocked out on my own floor, what you gonna do? It's my house. I pay the bills and the rent here. So if I'm drunk in my own home, ain't nobody bothering me. Deion drunk, man. He sleep on his couch. Fucking right, I paid for it, goddamn it. Leave me alone.
And there you go. There is the Shank Club NFL's public safety announcement, courtesy of my guy Dion. Fucking hell, I didn't think you were ever going to stop, man. But seriously, yeah, I mean, that's getting back to obviously the subject in hand. Carl, do you think it's going to affect Andy Reid and the Chiefs and because of obviously what's gone on, or is it going to be?
If this was
not an issue, because it is an issue, but you see what I mean.
If this was something to do with the franchise itself, I think he'll be a little bit pissed off with it, but he would still carry on. The fact it's not just a family matter, but it's actually one of your flesh and blood. That's gonna not sort of cloud your judgment, but it's going to think you've done this now. Where we're like 48 hours, we're on the doorstep to the Super Bowl, and you go and do bullshit like this. It's got to feel disgusting, but at the end of the day, Andy Reid still has to act professional about it. He still has a job to do. He's got to take this team 60 minutes away from a back-to-back Super Bowls.
Right.
He's got to continue that. He has to be professional, and he has to be very mature about this.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. It is a business. We all know that, but doesn't he have his son for doing? Not obviously doing it.
Yeah. That's what Mr. Rogers said. It's happened before. So
it was in 2012.
I don't think it's going to stop him.
It was a week before training camp was due to start, around August time. His son was found in a hotel room, seemingly having overdosed, I think it was. And if I remember right, that was the year that the Eagles were terrible. It was the so-called dream team, and that happened a week before training camp, and then basically it just all went tits up, quite frankly.
Hang on a minute, time out. Did you say Philadelphia Eagles and Dream Team in the same fucking sentence?
I'd like to point out I did do that, okay? That was when
you did. I didn't. That was obviously doing that off screen.
We traded for Rogers, Cromartie, Vince Young, and apparently that was meant to be good.
Yeah. I remember when you guys had that year.
4-12 later, I was like, yeah.
Wasn't that the one where you had Vince Young and Michael Vick in your quarterback room?
The only thing that
I think so.
Good
I
came
don't
out
think
of the dream team was the fact we drafted Lane Johnson a year later.
We didn't have Mike. You didn't have Mike. Eagles didn't have Michael Vick, did they?
Yeah, it was 2010 comeback player of the year. So Miracle at Meadowlands.
Okay. All right.
That's the big one to remember. Miracle at Meadowlands.
That was a good day.
I don't think Andy Reid's going to be affected, though. I think because this happened before, Mr. Rogers is spot on, man. This ain't about to stop him. You know, hell, I mean, what was it? It was some years ago. They caught Jim Irsay, man, like coked out or something.
I mean, that's it.
The owner for the Colts.
Nothing's really going to happen in the next 48 hours anyway. So he may as well focus on the Super Bowl, get to Monday, and then he can put all of his attention into that anyway.
Brighton have just scored against Burnley. That's cheered me up because Arsenal lost earlier as well, but that's another story. Right,
So
we are going to talk. Let's talk some Super Bowl stuff. We'll do the game and stuff near the end, but I want to know, what is your go-to food and drink for the Super Bowl? Let's start with John, fuck the Chiefs. John, what's your go-to food and drink for the Super Bowl?
Well, you know, I'm going to drink. I'm not going to eat shit. I'm going to starve myself because I'm in fucking depression. I'm just going to drink myself into a fucking coma, preferably before the game starts. And I hope to wake up to a Bucks victory at the end. Dude, this Super Bowl is just, I am such a fucking bitch on this fucking Super Bowl Sunday coming up, guys. I am so pissed. I am fucking pissed, man. It's just all week long, my timeline has reminded me of just all the excitement and all the fucking great times. And I went to Miami and I spent a fuck ton of money to go there. And I spent it in an NFC Niners bar in Miami. It was fucking amazing. And everything just went to fucking hell. And I had to remain in Miami for 2 more fucking days with my old lady. And she's like, we're going to go do so much fun stuff. You're not going to have to think about the Niners and blah, 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 blah. Every fucking where I went, there's a fucking Chiefs jersey. Much like the one that fucking Scott's wearing right now. And it was like, we're going to go on a boat tour and we're going to go see all these celebrity houses. And we're just going to see all kinds of fun stuff. Fucking Chiefs fans everywhere. Just to remind me, because of course I took nothing but Niners clothes. To remain anonymous, I would have had to walk around that motherfucker naked because I didn't have a goddamn thing that didn't say Niners on it. So I had fucking face paint, stickers, hats, socks, fucking everything. My shoes. I couldn't hide from the fucking humiliation and the fucking anger. I was so fucking pissed. And now I'm just like, tomorrow's the Super Bowl. And of course, Patrick Golden Boy motherfucking Mahomes is going to be going up against Tom Brady. And I'm like, please don't have a fucking senior moment, Tom. Just please just do this for the sake of everything holy and faithful. Just win this one so I can feel less angry. Scott, I love you, brother, every day but tomorrow, man. Tomorrow is your day, and I'm happy for you. I really am, but I'm really not. Okay? Like,
do you know what? I'm really glad. I'm really glad I asked that question, and I'm also glad that I asked John to answer first, because that was an intervention, right?
It really
We're all here for you, John. We're all here for you, man. If you need to reach out to anyone, we're here for you.
We're all here.
I feel your pain. I have not watched that game since it happened. And I was with Pete overnight in London, getting drunk, having a great time. And it just ebbed away. And I'd have loved to have been at the Super Bowl. But I feel your pain, and I think whoever wins or loses tomorrow will feel exactly the same. Scott, now, can you keep your answer clean and short without blowing up? Because I can't do 2 interventions, because that's just too many.
John, you're supposed to start that speech off with, my name is John, and I'm a 49ers fan. And everybody's like, hi, John.
Holding your hand up as you say it as well.
Exactly.
As far as John, it should make you feel better that you lost to the back-to-back champs. That should make you feel better about your squad. But anyway.
Ooh, damn.
Don't jinx yourself, Scott.
The go-to food
for
the Super Bowl is, Kansas City is the barbecue capital of the world. So we'll have some ribs, we'll have some pulled pork, we'll have some brisket. One of my personal favorites that I like to have during any football game, especially the Super Bowl, is cheese dip. I don't know if y'all make Rotel dip or not over there in England. If you can have it, you just take Velveeta cheese and then you buy this. It's peppers and tomatoes, and you pour it in there and you mix it up and it melts it all together, and then you eat it with chips, kind of like you would salsa.
Well, so yeah, country.
We'll have some barbecue. We'll have some Rotel cheese dip for sure tomorrow.
Nice. What about you, Ivan? What is your? Obviously, I know Cleveland didn't get there, and it's
next year.
That's bold. That's bold. That's bold.
Stamping the ticket now. What's your plan for tomorrow night? Are you staying up watching it? Food?
Absolutely.
How are you going to do it?
I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. So yeah, but no food. I can't be bothered with that. So beers probably. Fuller's beers. 1845 is one of my favourites. I'll be drinking that one. I love bourbon, so be some bourbon flowing as well.
Bourbon,
trying to
bourbon, brother.
For the game, so I want to watch the whole game. So I think it's going to be a cracking game. I'm looking forward to this one.
Definitely, Dion. What's your ritual? Whether it's do you change it at all because it's a Super Bowl, or is it the same when it's a Niners game? Do you do anything different, or do you just, what do you eat? What do you drink? What are you going to be doing?
To be honest with you, if the Niners are playing in the Super Bowl, I don't eat and I don't drink shit because I spend most of my time in a fucking anxiety attack. So I swear to you, like when we were in the Super Bowl, like I don't eat, I don't drink. But when it's other people in the Super Bowl, my go-to honestly is wings. I love me some fucking wings. And honestly, beer in general, just beer. I don't do too much hard liquor when I'm watching the Super Bowl, because I'll fall the fuck asleep. I get too inebriated, as I stated earlier. But it's more so beer and wings, since it's not the 49ers. But if it's the 49ers, yeah, I'll have a fucking heart attack the whole game, so I can't drink or eat. But this year's Super Bowl, I'm gonna fall the fuck asleep. Ain't nobody watching the goddamn weekend. I'm so tired of them putting pop acts at the fucking halftime of the Super Bowl when that shit doesn't make sense. Like, who the fuck? I guarantee you, there's not a soul on that team that listens to the goddamn weekend. Like, who the fuck? Like, come on, man. Y'all need to get. There's two things you should have at the Super Bowl: rock and roll or fucking rap. Those are the only two options you should have. You shouldn't have an orchestra. There shouldn't be no reason that fucking Beyonce and J-Lo are doing it. Don't look, okay? All you do is look at them because they look nice. That's about as good as it gets.
The problem is, Dion, with regarding of that though, they're adding it to a younger. They're trying to do it for a younger audience. It's not like you say. I tell you what, the next year, Metallica are going to do the halftime show. For the older generation, that'll be absolutely outstanding. I mean, I'm only 29 years of age, but I'm a Metallica fan and have been since the day I was fucking born. But for the more younger viewers, they would rather something that's like, either it's mumbling rap or it's got to be pop. It can't be.
Would we?
Sam, you're an exception.
Sam,
I honestly
get AC/DC on there. That's what I like.
I petitioned to have them on. I petitioned to have them on.
As much of a sellout as AC/DC are, and they are with Zeppelin, my favourite two groups, they would never do the halftime of the Super Bowl because they ain't fucking sellouts. And I'm telling you now, I've never even heard of this mob that are on at halftime tomorrow. And
the only thing is for me, the last thing I'll say is Whitney Houston's version of the national anthem has still not been outdone. She still shits on everybody. Doesn't matter how many times y'all try.
Fergie gave it an amazing go.
Can we have a quick debate here? What out of everyone here, what do you think is the best halftime show ever in the Super Bowl? I will go with the first one, and that's Prince.
Shark one, sorry.
Springsteen.
Boring. James.
If I'm being totally honest, I've only ever watched one halftime show, and that was the one that was the Justin Timberlake, and that was terrible. So I've got none.
John.
Generally speaking, I've done other things at halftime, which I'm not going to repeat on a public level.
Fucking hell, you must be quick, mate, if you can do it that quick. It's only 15
I don't mean
minutes.
that.
John.
I don't mean that.
John, your favourite.
I partied through the last decade of Super Bowls. I only paid attention to last year's. I must got my head knocked off for it. But I passed on all of them. I couldn't care for any of them, to be honest with you.
Scott?
It's got to be the wardrobe malfunction, man, with JT.
Oh, God.
You know what? That's a good one. Just because of the media circus. I mean,
Yeah, but
shit during the Super Bowl.
I was going to say, the music was shit, but she got her tits out. So.
Yes.
Ivan.
Yeah, John.
I don't know if it was like this over in the UK, but they talked about that shit on TV for like 6 goddamn months here in America.
Oh my God.
How the children and how, oh my God, there was people that went to church earlier.
Trouble is,
they had to be exposed to that. And it was just so funny, man. It just was the gift that kept on giving over and over.
The other thing about that, her tits weren't that great. That's the other thing. Ivan, your best halftime show.
It was just the damn absurdness of it and the hilarity and just the talk about it for months afterwards. It just that's got to be the best for me.
I'm with John, really. I don't really care for any of them, to be honest. It's all about the football for me. So yeah, I tend to miss the halftime shows. I'll go off and do something else.
Yeah, man. I was young and I partied like a rock star, man. That was the time to get it done and then get back to the game after halftime, man. But yeah, last year's was awesome.
Yeah, the only one I haven't watched many of them because I don't care for the halftime shows, honestly, just like Ivan and John. But I'd say the only one I actually really watched, I think, was the one where I think it was Beyonce and Bruno Mars and all of them, and that's just because I actually like Bruno Mars.
Yeah, I love Bruno Mars, man.
Yeah, probably that was the only reason. It's the only reason I really watched, but that one I like. But I mean, there's probably been some that have actually been better, but I don't pay enough attention to it. I'm more so about the football. Me and Ivan and John are on the same thing. That's all I care about.
The Coldplay Bruno Mars one was the best of the recent ones. I'll say that.
Coldplay want to make me slash my fucking wrists. Fucking Christ. What a boring twat. Jesus Christ. That is music to just depress the fuck out of anyone.
The thing is,
get you some Imagine Dragons in there too, man.
The thing is,
all I can picture is Nick post Super Bowl crying to Coldplay "Fix You." That's all I get when he says there's serious emotional damage there.
Seriously, right? I'm telling you. Anytime I feel really down, I don't put Coldplay on because that'll fucking kill me. To me, the Who were really good.
Who?
Because exactly the Who.
This guy.
And I loved Prince. But the thing that really and I don't watch many halftime shows, but the thing that really gets me is why the fuck do they mime and look fucking stupid? Because no fucking guitars are plugged in, there's no fucking microphones, and you get the fake crowd with the lighters and all that.
Yeah.
Really? Is everyone that fucking dumb that we don't know they're not singing?
Yeah. We're having such a great time. Fuck off.
Do you know what I mean? And they're all NFL employees. They're all the fucking pretty people, and they're there like, I love everything that's going on. It's so wonderful.
Stop messing up with the pitch and fuck off, innit?
Yeah.
There's a game to be played, yeah.
I think they put these
Well,
on because they know. I think they put these artists in because they know they're not very good live. You can tell from an artist how good they are when you go watch them live, or you see a live show of them.
What was the game? Was it? There was a game either this year or last year. I'm not sure if it was a playoff game or something. Might have been in Dallas when they started the playback and they're all giving it all that shit and pretending, and then it fucking died, and everyone's.
Oh, I was at Detroit. I know that.
Thanksgiving.
That was
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. That was Detroit, and that was, if I'm certainly correct, because my missus is a very, very avid country fan. Brother Osborne, I think it was. Brother Osborne.
Could be, and they're all going, pretending to play, and pretending to sing, and then it died, and then all of a sudden it came back, and they're back again going, oh, that was hilarious. I mean, play live, for fuck's sake.
No, but it gets ridiculous.
Shit, man. Milli Vanilli's career ended because of that shit. Now they do it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is a very good call.
I think one of those dudes, unfortunately, man, I think he took his own life, man. It was pretty shitty. Yeah. Like that was like the worst thing that could have ever happened to them, bro. As soon as they unplugged that shit, it was over.
Really? Like, act? One of them killed themselves. Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, one of them did, man. Shit, they basically, like, it. You didn't think about it. I think, who was it? Vanilla Ice said straight up, Ice Baby was the best and the worst thing that happened to me in life in one foul swoop. You know, I mean, yeah, and we all know the tale of how that happened, Mr. Rob Van Winkle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
just the name. Yeah, when I heard his real name, I was like, "What? His name is what?"
How the fuck can you go through life with a name like that and not feel fucking depressed?
Hey, look, let me tell you this, bro. The job that I do, I see some names and I question a lot. And I'm gonna say this, and I'll say this wholeheartedly. It's usually from the South. And it's nothing against people in the South, but people in the South have a very creative mind. Let's just say that, to say the least. My wife talked to someone, his name was Lake Drawn. And
of a task completed.
That wasn't River Craycraft's fucking brother or something, was it?
Quite possibly. It could have been a distant cousin. Yeah.
There you go, see?
You know.
Rivers running deep and all that shit. Holy shit.
We never got Shark or James's Super Bowl food, I don't think.
Seeing the size of us have gone, oh, this is going to be good. Yeah.
Are you watching it together first? Are you watching it together? No.
COVID rules of. We're unfortunate. We've been separated for the Eagles one and the Buccaneers one after watching the game together growing up. So Eagles is a fun story about how James starts a brand new job the day before his team makes the Super Bowl at 9 a.m. And then this one's obviously
when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I was up till I think 4:30 watching it. Said I was going to go to bed if it was a terrible game. Naturally, 1,100 yards, so didn't go to bed. Won the game, happy days. But then it was my corporate welcome the following day at 8 o'clock, and I had to be in Southampton from London at 8 o'clock. So I got about 20 minutes sleep, 2 hours train. And I got there, and I'm not joking, I had matchsticks in my eyes. They're giving me contracts to sign. I'm like, yeah, just send me home.
Do you know the funny thing about that, James? And anyone in the UK can feel that, because I don't know how many times I've stayed up or gone to bed, then watched the Niners on Sunday night football, Monday night, blah, blah, blah. And you think, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. It's not a problem. This is not a problem. You fall asleep, and all of a sudden it's like, shit, I've got to get up. I've got to go to work. With no sleep.
I've had to sacrifice a lot of games the last couple of years because this is actually a pretty good job that pays me pretty well now.
I can't miss a game. I can't. I don't care if I have fucking 10 minutes sleep. I
I think I've got one of the most entertaining late night stories in the NFL of I have been in a nightclub watching Bucks on Thursday Night Football, sat at a booth we've won, ignoring everyone's like come down. So I'm just sat there like, hold on, it's fourth and 3. Like, fuck off. they're all like poking Jaeger bombs in my face. I'm like, do you fucking mind? You know, it was the Patriots game and we missed like 87 fucking field goals and then Nick Folk went and signed for them.
You guys
Like, anyway, so to answer the question, burgers, hot dogs, wings, and possibly some caffeine.
The missus bought £40 worth of snacks. So I'm not taking the mick, but it was 2.5 kilos of celebrations, 2 kilos of Biscoff biscuits.
So basically, what Tesco couldn't sell at Christmas is now in your living room.
No, it's not Tesco. This is a random website. Anyway,
But have you got a snack helmet to put it all in?
I do not.
Technically, you do. It's just not in your house.
I need to change the
still not
screensaver.
I'm coming. Hold on one second. Fellas, I'm going to join you guys in a few minutes. I got to get on the
There
road.
you go. That's what you want.
Okay, John.
I'll be right
No
back.
worries, John. Okay.
No rush,
I'll
bro.
put you back in.
We
See you
essentially
in the
back all night. It's right there.
Yeah, food wise for me, it's I don't know because I don't think I'm going to do the sleep beforehand because I got Monday off. Fuck knows why I took Monday off, but I did. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do the food overnight. I'm going to get some beers and watch the game. If I don't sleep, then I might get some food for half time because I fucked if I'm watching that half time bollocks. I can't be doing with going all this shit. You might as well have fucking Little Mix or the Spice Girls on there.
And speaking of Little Mix, where is Pete?
No.
Being a little mix because he can't come on because his hair's fucked and he needs a hair.
Hair is fucked. My hair is fucked. Okay.
Seriously.
Big Steelers fans for you.
I
That
will
hairline.
on Tuesday.
Pete for you.
On
Yeah.
Tuesday,
Wait,
when
hold
I
on.
go into work, I am going to take a picture of Pete's hairstyle. And if you ever remember, as I said earlier in the intro, the Planet of the Apes. If anyone remembers those films, let me just see if I can do. There was an ape called Galen, and his hair is like. I'm just gonna talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'm just gonna try and find a picture.
Can we talk about the
Pete's hair.
absolute comfort that's going on over here? Like, there's all sit up on their set. There's Jim's just laid out over there. He's slowly got lower and flatter as the podcast's gone on.
James looks like he's
here as well.
James looks like he's campaigning for his OnlyFans page.
The babe station woman.
There you go. There's a live picture of Pete. If you can see that, that is Pete as we speak. CCTV footage from Bentman Towers. And
Might be funny, but all respect to Pete, but like it's Shank Club, not the catwalk in Milan. You know, put a hat on, get on the mic. It's like, come on. Like
half the time though, he looks like he's fallen asleep in a fucking chip pan. The amount of shit he has on his hair.
listen, he's moaning about the hair on top, and he looks like his beard's penciled on. He's got bigger fish to fry. You know.
You know what?
Right.
I was cutting Pete some slack. Okay, that first time he missed after the Steelers lost.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's got.
Now it's like, come on.
He's been on for what, 10 minutes since then?
Yeah, you
Rule
see, he
number,
won't
rule
come on.
number one. Don't give him.
I'm not.
Rule number
I'm
one.
not cutting him
Don't give him
more
any slack.
I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
You know, he might appear this time next year. Who knows? Who knows? Bless him. You know,
Probably-
it's like
He's
he
probably
says,
gone.
"Oh,
John Lynch has tried to sign him.
who's sorry? John Lynch has tried to sign
Yeah.
Pete."
Yeah, he saw Pete Pete throw a ball around down the local park and gave him a phone call. Yeah.
No, trust me, I've seen Pete throw, and
They don't have
he ain't
cheerleaders
getting
this
signed
year
anytime
because of
soon.
COVID.
You sure it was throwing a ball and not throwing a wobbly?
That as well. He does.
Probably,
throw-
I mean, it was a dark-coloured object being thrown. It's probably a Steelers jersey from this year, man. I think about it.
No, he was on that Steelers bandwagon and he rode it, and then all of a sudden it all came.
So,
crashing
wheels
down.
fell off.
until the Washington football team wrote them.
The ground was
Nick,
so
Nick, ask you a
enjoyable.
question.
Yes,
Were you,
Simon.
were you responsible for him choosing the Steelers?
No, it had nothing to do with me.
How did that?
I'll give you. Right, this is the story of Pete and the Steelers, and I bet you any time soon he'd pop up in the comments, or he might actually come on camera. I'll tell you a little story. Right, when I started working with Pete nearly 10 years ago, and we got talking about sport, and he's an Everton fan, and obviously I'm a Brighton supporter, what have you. He kind of liked American football, but he didn't follow it. He's always been a Tebow fan. He's always been a Gators fan. And the 49ers were playing at Wembley. And I had a spare ticket. I said, right, let's go. So we got to Wembley. I bought an official Patrick Willis jersey, told him to put it on. Then I decided that I was going to disappear for 3 hours in the tailgate and not answer my phone and really wind him up. And then we went there and we watched the game, and then he went to Sandals somewhere. I don't know where it was. And he hooked up with this guy from Pennsylvania who decided that he was going to be live or die a Pittsburgh fan. So he never really had a team until he met this guy from Pennsylvania. And he gets a lot of shit. I give him so much grief. I mean, that 11-0 start, and then to do what they did. We had a lot. We always do have NFL bets at the beginning of the season. Last year, I took 80 quid off of him. This year, I would have been 80 quid into him had they not gone one and done in the playoffs. It cost me a tenner, so happy days. And he was
I cleaned house this season.
He got his little, because he has to write them down so he doesn't forget. I mean, a couple of years ago, the Niners were before Jimmy G came along, were awful. And I said that we would win 6 games or more. And he said, no, that's not going to happen. So I think we had £50 on it. And of course, we were awful. And then Jimmy G came, we were 1 and whatever it was. And then Jimmy G came and we won the last 5 games.
Top 5, yeah.
It's great. But that's Pete. He does. If you ever want to wager with Pete, make sure he's had a few beers, because he'll bet on anything. He would bet on. He would, if I don't know, let's say Everton were 5-0 down, you could bet him 50 quid that Everton wouldn't win, and he'll say no, they're going to come back. That's just what Pete is. He doesn't. It's easy. It's easy money with Pete sometimes. And every time he says, "Nah, we're not gonna. I'm not betting this year. I'm not betting this year." But by August, when the draft's done and training camps are on, we'll have those bets again. And it's always interesting with Pete, bless him. But for some reason, his hair's more important than being on with us boys talking Super Bowl, which
I think he's Mr. Cracker. I think it's been great so far.
Well, we've spoken food, we've spoken beer, we've spoken to Jeff and got his Super Bowl memories. We've absolutely slated Jeff about Sky and everything. So it's been.
I mean, it's that time.
Well, someone slated him.
Well, most people said no. Well, actually, I watched Game Pass. But to be fair, I am looking forward to the game, and I'd like to get your views on it all. Obviously, Carl, score prediction, key points to the game.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs do have left tackle Eric Fisher out, which is a bit of a blow. When Fisher's not on the field, the Chiefs are 3-3. I think this is going to be a case of Tom Brady and the Buccaneers playing keep away from the Chiefs. You're going to see them run the ball a lot more than what they usually do. The Chiefs can stop the run, but if you go back to the Browns game, especially in the second half, Chubb and Hubb were starting to have their way with them at long last. So I think it's just a case of the Bucs just need to be very, very patient in this game. With the Chiefs, it's simple. You know, Tyreek Hill, he's just completely and utterly dangerous. Travis Kelce in the flat, he'll hurt you in every way possible. I just think when we go back to last year's Super Bowl, the 2 interceptions that Mahomes had, the 49ers didn't capitalize on them, and Garoppolo made that third down throw to Emmanuel Sanders where he missed him by 3 yards. Brady needs to play his most cleanest game he has ever played before. I'm going to let everyone else make their picks first before I choose mine. So,
chicken shit. Now, Shark 1. We obviously know what you're going to say, but what is your take on the game and your score prediction?
Well, I've got to be honest. I looked at the AFC, and if I could have one team that I didn't want to face in the Super Bowl, it's the one we're playing. But at the end of the day, you get to the Super Bowl, you're playing a good team. You know, everyone deserves the right to be here. It's so hard to predict because you want to be honest with yourself and sort of say, like, look, this is Patrick Mahomes. The kid's amazing. The kid could be the best ever, like stats wise. Like is it 3 years he's had seasons, and he's already won the MVP, won the Super Bowl MVP, won the lot. So you've also got obviously Tom Brady on the other side. It's absolutely ridiculous. You've got 6 Super Bowl rings. You've got all these offensive weapons. It's just so difficult to call from a fan's perspective because my heart's there going, oh, it's going to be Tampa. My head's going, look, it's Patrick Mahomes. You can't beat them. But for me, we're going to have to score a lot of points to beat them. We're going to have to be efficient with the ball, and we can't give up the big plays we did earlier in the season. We can't let Tyreek Hill go for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. And we've had a lot of years of stupid Bucs mistakes costing us games. Don't drop the ball now. You know, Devin White's been amazing. Lavonte David's been amazing. Sean Murphy-Bunting's joined an elite club with 3 interceptions. So let's keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to give ourselves every chance to beat this Chiefs team. But this is for sure the toughest challenge yet, despite the fact we're at home. So we'll see, obviously, neutral location. We're at home, so obviously I don't want to read into that too much because it's a one-game opportunity. Do you want to move on, Jim? Do you want to go ahead? Because Nick's gone, as he said in the chat. So we'll move on to Jim. Sorry.
I don't agree with everyone saying that Tampa's got to score a stupid amount of points. I look at the matchup and I think Tampa Bay is one of the best built teams to face the Chiefs. Maybe not enough to win, but they're very well built. Great D-line. Their coverage is good. Stopping Tyreek Hill and Kelce is a task and a half, but between their cornerbacks and the way their safety or the way they've drafted and recruited, I think they're well matched up for that. Whether Brady can and that rushing attack can wear the Chiefs defense down is key. But my prediction, honestly, is probably 27-24. I'm going to go Tampa for you, Sam, but I think it could go either way. It's so close.
Lord have mercy on my heart if we have to kick a field goal for that win. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to last second field goal for us to win it, or say we're losing, I'm turning the TV off and I'll find out in the morning. I'm not watching that shit live. There's only so much a man can take.
No, I don't know if it's going to go down to that. Ivan, what do you think? What's your take on all this?
Well, I mean, obviously the Chiefs are just an amazing team. I do think they're the best team in the NFL. Have since the beginning of the season, for obvious reasons. But I do think that it's going to be closer than people think. I do think the Bucs stand chance. I do think it's down to the D. I mean, the Bucs offense, you know, with Godwin, Brown, Gronk, you know, they've got good players that are going to get them yardage and touchdowns. So I don't think they have to worry too much about putting points on the board. Equally, why I think it's going to be close is because the Bucs have a very good D-line. And although the Chiefs are missing Fisher, you know, of all the teams that miss defensive linemen, I think the Chiefs don't have to worry about it the most in that sense because they don't use the offensive line too much in traditional ways. But the Bucks D, you know, you've got nose tackle Vita Vea. You know, you've got defensive tackles Goulston and, you know, and who's the other one? McClendon, is it? You know, you've got a defensive line that is going to cause a lot of problems. You've got Vita Vea going there. You've got defensive tackles stopping Mahomes coming around the sides. You know, you've got the potential there. They've got fairly fast. I mean, no one's as fast as Hill, but they've got fairly fast secondary. You know, they've got, as James said, of all the teams that the Chiefs can play, the Bucks actually, I think, have best armory to potentially stop them. Which is why I think, you know, with a clean game, force Mahomes back, don't let him out wide, cover Hill, Kelsey. You know, you never know. I was listening to a PFF podcast earlier in the week, and I don't know what game they were referring to, but they said one of the best ways they've seen, they still lost the game, but one of the best games they've seen of trying tactically to stop the Chiefs was the man coverage, Hill and Kelsey, and bring two players free back to roam. How you do that, I don't know, but, you know, the Bucks have the potential to do it. So it's going to be close. It's still probably going to go Chiefs. But I think it's going to be a very close game. So I'll go for something like 34-31.
Thing is, if you get pressure on Mahomes, and obviously I'll bring Scott in a minute, it just ups his game. I don't know how you stop him. I really don't. And Tyreek Hill and obviously Travis Kelce, I don't know how you stop him. I don't. And I don't think the Bucks defense is going to get enough pressure. The run game, I don't know if it's going to be a factor. I really don't know. But yeah, they are a matchup problem, that's for sure. And I'm not saying the Bucks aren't, don't get me wrong, because the Bucks do have weapons. And I've been looking at Scott will tell you, I've been slating the Chiefs all season, saying their defense isn't great. It's this, it's that, it's the other. But I don't know. I just think they're going to have enough. And I think they're going to go back to back. And then I'm just going to bury my head in the sand because I can't take Chiefs and bloody Mahomes talk for all the off season. Scott, give us your opinion.
Yeah, so when these teams played, I believe it was week 12. It was in Tampa Bay.
Week 12.
And the Chiefs, I mean, they had almost 600 yards, and they had a few times where they got held. You know, they were held to field goals in the red zone down at the 10 or inside the 20 or whatever. And they really ran away and then just kind of played keep away from the Bucks. The Bucks scored a couple of touchdowns towards the end that made it look closer than the game really was. You can't say that that's exactly what's going to happen this week. You look at the Saints. They throttled the Buccaneers earlier in the regular season, beat them twice, actually, then lost them in the playoffs. But Drew Brees wasn't himself. You saw the injuries that guy was dealing with at the end of the year and going into the playoffs, and he just looked awful. You know, the key to the game is just – it's the key to every game with the Chiefs, and it's Patrick Mahomes, and they just have the advantage there because he's the best player in the league at the most important position in the league. And Andy Reid, you know, off bye weeks, you look at his record, it's unbelievable. The Chiefs offense has looked unstoppable since the regular season. I mean, the Bills, I think, are a better team than the Buccaneers, and they ran roughshod over the Bills 2 weeks ago. I mean, that wasn't even a contest. They made them look like they didn't even belong in the game, and that was a 13-3 team. So I just think that the amount of talent and the coaching and Tom Brady being at an advanced stage. I mean, he threw 3 interceptions in the second half of that championship game, and the Packers just didn't capitalize on it. So, yeah, I don't see it being particularly close unless the Chiefs just come out and make a bunch of dumb mistakes and maybe, you know, have some turnovers, have some drives that stall out at the end and they have to kick field goals. I could see making it closer, but I see this game being somewhere in the 41-24, 41-27 range. Not really that close.
Blimey, that is bold. I had it closer than that, I must admit. Are you not worried by Tom Brady and the way he can manipulate defenses, things like that, with the weapons that they've got?
No, not really. You saw what happened with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and John Brown and the Bills, who everybody would say that offense is a lot better. And Josh Allen is playing a much higher level, and obviously age factors into Tom Brady's level of play. But the Chiefs' defense is underrated. They've been underrated all year. They went in and shut down the Bills, who were one of the top offenses. Josh Allen, people were talking about he should be in the MVP discussion, and they just made him look like he didn't know what the hell was going on out there. They blitzed him. They pressured him. The Chiefs' defensive line, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Tom Brady is not mobile. He's not elusive. If they start pressuring him and they force him to throw these short passes, it's going to be hard for the Buccaneers to get drives and get down and score touchdowns. The run game for the Buccaneers, it's formidable, but Leonard Fournette, he's been playing above his, he's been playing out of his mind kind of here in the playoffs. We saw it in the Browns game when the Chiefs wanted to stop the run. They held the Browns, I think, to 20 yards in the first half. And then they had a couple of long runs in the second half that really kind of skewed the numbers, made it look like they were more productive on the ground than they were. So, yeah, it's just when you factor in Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and that defense playing well, they just seem so focused. They're on a mission. They want to go back to back. I just think it's too much for Tampa Bay.
Okay, James, have you had your say? Sorry, I had to step away for a couple of seconds.
I did have my say whilst you were having your 2 minutes off.
Okay, right. Well, Dion, it's down to you, my man. What's your take on this?
You know me, man. It's simple. I hate Brady, and I honestly feel like if he makes mistakes, the Chiefs are able to take advantage of those. Like if he throws 3 interceptions in this game, that's going to be a killer for him. The Chiefs aren't going for, not scoring anything and next to nothing. They're going to capitalize off those turnovers. So for me, Brady's going to have to be pretty much almost all but impeccable and maybe throw 1 interception, if that. But if he screws around, man, and he winds up putting himself in a bad situation where he throws 3-4 interceptions, he can get this Super Bowl goodbye. Chiefs do have a fairly good defense. I won't say that it's great because it's just not in me to be able to say that. But I say the Chiefs will win, and I say the Chiefs will win by at least 2 scores. That's simple.
Interesting. John, see you shaking your head there. Go on then. Let's hear it.
I disagree with Dion. No, sir. No. I believe that Tom Brady will get his 7th ring, and Patrick Mahomes will not be the GOAT. He'll be the baby wannabe GOAT. Scott, I know that you and I get along on most days, but tomorrow I will always be a Scott fan, but I will never be a Chiefs fan, and I will not support you, not on any Sunday, and definitely not in the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady, I believe the score is 34-27. Yeah, man. I just you see that phrase. They got the kids in the car. You see that phrase right there beside my name? That's how I feel tomorrow, fellas. That's how I feel.
Pretty cut clear then. I am going to go with the Chiefs, and I tell you for why. I just don't think, as I said a little while ago, I just don't think that the Bucks defense is going to be able to handle Mahomes, Kelce. Is Hilaire playing? running back tomorrow, or is he out injured?
Yeah, he's playing. And also, another thing I didn't bring up, it looks like Sammy Watkins is going to be back. So that's a weapon that they haven't had in the playoffs. And they've looked, like I said, unstoppable in the playoffs. I think they've been forced to one punt, and every other drive they've had since in the 2 games has been a touchdown or a field goal, has been scores. And now you add Sammy back in, who if you want to try and double Tyreek Hill, go ahead. Sammy Watkins can beat you too. So that's something that I don't think a lot of people have talked about when it comes to the offensive side for the Chiefs. Hilaire will be playing. And I tell you what, that kid Darrell Williams, he's looked good too. He's looked really good since he came in when CEH had the injury and Le'Veon Bell kind of came in and got some touches and really got getting it done. Darrell Williams has looked like a powerful, bruising type running back that really has stepped up and played well the last couple of games.
Here's
the only thing I will say. Sorry, Cole. Go ahead. Here's
the other thing we've also forgotten as well. It's a good job Pete's not on this stream, because apparently 2 ex-Pittsburgh Steelers are playing in the Super Bowl in Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. Here's the thing, though. Le'Veon Bell left the Steelers for money purposes. It was all about money. Antonio Brown, he left basically. He burned bridges. He burned bridges with the Steelers. He burned bridges with the Raiders. He burnt a bridge with the New England Patriots. I mean, one of these guys is going to end up with a ring. Which one deservedly? I don't know who.
With Antonio Brown, though, he didn't only burn bridges, he burnt his fucking feet in a cryo chamber and all that shit as well. If you watch that,
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. Yeah.
I mean, it is a hard one to call, because, as you say, Sammy Watkins coming back, that adds another dimension. Would anyone be, apart from obviously the Sharpmeister in the top right-hand corner, would anyone be shocked if Tampa pulled out the win?
No.
I wouldn't be shocked. I'd have to say that. I wouldn't be shocked, but I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL, full stop. But I wouldn't be shocked. And the Buccaneers have got there and deserve to get there. They're the best team in the NFC. So I'm wearing the Bucs used to play in orange. I'm wearing orange today because I'm cheering the Bucs on tomorrow. Let's go Bucs.
Well, I looked at putting a bet on, and at the moment, the only decent odds you can get is -3 on the Bucs. There's no money for the Chiefs, so I don't know.
I just think people are getting frustrated with the Chiefs because it's this unbeatable factor about them at the moment. So that's why people are switching and actually supporting or rooting for the Bucs, should I say? There's just almost untouchable factor.
They definitely are.
I'd rightly say that. I will admit that.
Yeah. It's easy for Scott to sit there, Mr. Smug, and everything's going well. And I know he's been there when it's been bad, and all of us have seen bad things. I mean, you only got to look at the Patriots this year, Carl. Bad things happen after all that glory.
It's been fun watching that, though.
Is the no comment? Do we want, say, a team like the Chiefs to run off 4 straight or be what the Patriots were back in the day? Does it make football boring, or does it actually keep you, as a neutral or as a fan of another team, does it keep you? Does it keep you interested?
Now, what I've got to understand about this year is now I know how every single NFL franchise and NFL fan felt against the New England Patriots when we were at our peak, when we were the evil empire. Everyone fucking hated us. Everyone hated us.
You still are.
Guess what?
Trust me.
You blew half of it up, and the leader fucked off. Basically, if the Chiefs do repeat, it's going to add a bigger target on the Chiefs' back from Sunday going forwards. And it will over the next few years, because everyone be like, oh, not the Chiefs again. Just when you thought you got rid of the Patriots, now all of a sudden there's a new juggernaut in town. There's a new dynasty that could be about to happen. And that's probably the last thing the NFL wants. They probably just want to have, like, I don't know, another 5 to 10 years of where a team wins it, and then another team wins it, and then another team wins it. You know, a little bit of variety. They've finally got over 20 years of Patriots dominance, and now all of a sudden they're about to get Chiefs dominance.
Well, I don't mind the Chiefs winning it again, because the Browns are going to get it next year in the AFC. So the Chiefs can have their 2 seasons. It's not a problem. Not a problem for me whatsoever. But because I don't like to see teams, winning it twice in a row, I've been to Tampa Bay. I've been to the stadium. I'm definitely going for the Bucks. Come on, Bucks. Let's go. D-line's gonna sort them out. D-line will win it for the Bucks tomorrow.
I'm going to say
some shit.
A couple of things, guys. Before we move on, I've got a couple of shout outs I got to do, and I did forget to do these at the top. The guy we had on the show previously, Brad Ward, who you know, Ivan.
Oh yeah.
Going through cancer treatment at the moment. He would have liked to have come on today to join us, but unfortunately he couldn't. And he will be joining us again. So I hope you're. Oh, what's happened to Shark 2? He's
Going up Fran Park. Sorry, moving on.
James's reaction to Brad to beat cancer. So well done, James. I love your enthusiasm.
What a Brad.
That is the correct answer, Carl. Well set up. So yeah, Brad.
Fuck you, Cam. Sorry.
Well.
Hey, just real quick. Going back to is it good for the league, or do fans of other teams, if you're not a fan of the team that's dominating every year like the Patriots did, if you're not a Patriots fan, I have a different perspective on that. I looked at a team like that and I thought, okay, I enjoyed it, and I want my team to be the team that comes in and knocks them off and takes claim of the mountain. So I don't want a bunch of mediocrity and, oh, hey, maybe this team can get in and win this one, and a different team the next. I want to have a good competitor. I want to have a target. I want to have someone to go after, and I want, it was like Ric Flair. I don't know how many of you watch wrestling, but Ric Flair said, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
You got to beat the man. Yes,
and
sir.
In order for you to beat the man, there has to be someone that is the man. So I was crushed, obviously, a few years ago when the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in that AFC Championship game. Not just because they had lost and the chance to go to the Super Bowl, but I wanted so bad to be the team that knocked off the Patriots and put an end to their greatness and go to the Super Bowl over them. So I guess maybe I look at it differently. I enjoy when there's really, really good elite teams in the league, even if it's not my team, because that kind of gives you somebody to say, okay, that's who you need to be. That's who you need to go after, and let's go beat them and let's knock them off.
That's the standard. I understand that. Yeah.
That's how we've always.
If you want to be king of the hill, beat the current king.
Carly Young there getting into it. He's giving us a woo.
There you go. He knows.
Although I have to say, Hulk Hogan is the GOAT. But that's we're not getting into wrestling.
No.
We're not getting
into
wrestling.
No, please don't. No.
We're not getting into wrestling. I just wish I could rip the t-shirt, but I can't. Anyway, so Brad, hope you're well. He is gonna tune in and watch the replay. He did want to be with us this week. Unfortunately, he couldn't be, but he is going to join us down the line in between the off-season and the draft. And also shout out Andy Turner from Silver FX Sports. We are possibly going to be having some Shank Club NFL merchandise He is making me a jacket because I want one. So there you go. Right. We've talked food. We've talked Super Bowl. We've talked all that. Dion, I'm just going to throw it to you. Who is the next 49ers QB?
So you're asking me that in essence that we move on from Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm asking you because we are linked with every person that can throw the ball. I don't want us to move on from Jimmy G. Jimmy G is my guy, but it appears
If they move
with everyone.
If they move on, the next 49er quarterback would be Zach Wilson. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan move up in the draft.
Zach Wilson's going to go. Sorry, Dion, but Zach Wilson's going to go too high.
Yeah, we'll go third.
Yeah, you'd need to make a deal for that.
You'll need to trade up to go get Wilson.
Yeah.
You can have Case Keenum if you want.
I don't want no Case Keenum. Give me that trash.
Keen the law of averages.
Nah. That's it for me.
Oh, didn't realize.
Nick's talking to someone on the phone.
He's on the phone. He could have told.
He must be talking to Pete.
Get your ass on in right now.
Right.
How about you, John? Who plays quarterback for the 49ers next year?
There you go.
Can you guys hear me, or am I breaking up? Like
now we can.
You was on mute, mate. Carry on.
I'll just type it in the comments.
We can hear you. It's fine.
We can hear you.
Okay. I think it's going to be Jimmy.
So Jimmy
I don't
stays.
think we go out and get anybody. I don't think we go and I don't think we're going to mortgage the farm on Kirk Cousins or Carson Wentz.
Everyone's too expensive for my taste.
I don't think we get Dak. Everyone is very expensive. Stafford set the market high, and it kind of pissed me off. But in the grand scheme of things, I believe we run with Jimmy. We have a winning record with Jimmy. I don't know why we have to make him out to be, everybody says that they don't want to down talk Jimmy and they don't want to talk badly about him, but they do. They do everywhere. Everyone discredits the guy. My worry is he doesn't just pack his stuff and want to get out of Santa Clara, because then we're screwed. I mean, what do you do if you're Jimmy Garoppolo right now with all this chatter going on?
I saw a crazy article.
I
saw a crazy article linking Tampa about Jimmy G, the leaving 49ers, goes back behind Brady with us and tries to take over what Brady leaves behind. But I don't buy into it at all. One, what we're going to pay Jimmy Garoppolo, we can. We're already paying a quarterback. Two, why would Jimmy Garoppolo finally force his way out of New England to then be the exact thing that he was set up to be from the start? It means the whole 49ers thing was just a complete waste of time on 4 years of your career. Right. So it's a very difficult situation for Jimmy G. You're right, though. But honestly, I think you guys have both hit the nail on the head by saying stick with him.
Yeah, Jimmy G, as a professional athlete, as long as you've got the support and the backing of your coaches and your teammates, you can't be listening to fans and what trolls and people talking shit on Twitter and online are saying, man. If he's letting that get to him, that's a
he doesn't. He doesn't even listen to it. Like the guy. That's one thing I can say wholeheartedly about Jimmy. He's never been one for social media or being like that person.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He just doesn't listen to any of the crap. He just deals with whatever comes.
It's a hard situation because obviously everybody sees all these other QBs that the 49ers are being linked with, which quite honestly is fucking ludicrous. Every day I open Twitter up, they're going after Stafford. They're going after Watson. They're going after this. They're doing that. Kirk Cousins. Mitchell Trubisky's been Carson Wentz. I mean, he must see what's going on. I know he probably
does, but he blocks it out. He's pretty good at that. Because if you notice, when he gets asked questions, he's ice cold, man. Never, like, no one ever bothers him. He's like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm here to play football. I'm here to do my job. Like, those are his responses. It's very, very seldom that he actually gets into like shouting match or an argument with someone.
Yeah, definitely. James, what do you feel about Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, and all of this that Wentz is going out? And bearing in mind, let's be honest, Wentz's contract is nearly as fucking ridiculous as Jared Goff's was. And, you know, I
don't get what's going on right now. It's all very confusing. The fact that by all accounts, all the reports that have come out is we sacked Doug Pederson because Wentz wanted him ousted. And then now we're listening to trade offers for Wentz. And I'm kind of sat there looking at Howie and Jeffrey Lurie right now going, well, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
3 years ago, we were Super Bowl champions. We seem to have a knack of winning the NFC East when it mattered for 2 or 3 years. And it's just all gone to shit this year. It really has.
Well, 3 years ago, you weren't just Super Bowl champions. You were the hottest looking team in the NFL. You had a Carson Wentz that was unfortunate of one injury, ready to come back. You had the system that seemed to be bamboozling everyone. You had one of the most unique playbooks, and it seems to have imploded ridiculously fast.
Thanks, Sam. I don't know.
Just to make you even more depressed.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a weird situation with Wentz, right? Because obviously Nick Foles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wentz was in line for MVP that year, got injured. He doesn't have a statue outside the stadium. Do you think they are really sold on Wentz, or do you think that Hurts has come in and actually shown something? I mean, obviously another thing that went round was Doug Peterson was fired because he didn't get on with the owner and he didn't get on with the GM. But as you say, 3 years ago, they're lifting the Lombardi, and now, what the fuck?
No, exactly. I think Doug wanted a bit more power, didn't he? Whereas Howie seems to have the final say on the 53-man roster. As far as I'm concerned, that should be down to the coach, or it should at least be a combination of the bloody two. As for Wentz, I mean, by all accounts, I've got 3 jerseys for Wentz. That's how much I believed in the guy. You know, and to me, he's got tremendous talent. Yes, he's had a bad year, but for 2 or 3 days in a row, 2 or 3 years in a row, we have been injury-ridden constantly. The wide receiving talent has been shoddy at best. Drafting, we've been pretty piss poor. So, and yet somehow Doug's managed to drag us out and get us in the playoffs. Was it the last 3 years? You know, and won the Super Bowl year 1, went on the road and beat Chicago, double doink, won't forget that. And let's be honest, we were one Alshon Jeffrey catch away from seeing how that would have finished out in the Superdome. Maybe we could have gone back. Who knows? And then last year out to the Seahawks, which, you know, they're a good side, have been consistent in the NFC for a best part of a decade. And then this year, again, just injuries from week 1. I mean, the O-line against Washington. I mean, I think by half time, we were down to, I think, our last 6 offensive linemen. It was shocking. And it just didn't get any better.
I mean, again, we're going to go round again. But surely, even you can see something is fundamentally wrong with Wentz this year. And it's not the line, it's not the injuries. He just can't hit.
No, he missed open guys.
A fucking banjo.
No, exactly.
I don't know what's gone on with him this year.
And that's it. I mean, we've heard a lot. I've read a few articles from Bleeding Green Report, and they're pretty on the ball with their stuff. It's one of the Inside Eagles sort of Facebook groups and that, and they seem to come out with Wentz was changing plays constantly at the huddle, deciding whatever Doug had called, he didn't want to run it, kill, and I have to admit, having watched a lot of Eagles this year because we were only the 6 o'clock game, kill a lot, and it was just some bollocks.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him. That doesn't make him miss wide open receivers
no, absolutely.
or get sacked. You know, and I don't know, Dion. What do you think about Wentz this year? What?
He's taking a step back. He's taking a step back. He's regressed, and it's more so in his play and, to me, honestly, his footwork. So for me, I personally don't think that the guy has been, you know, the worst, but he hasn't been the best. So it's hard, but I have to agree that it's time for him to go. And I think they didn't think that. I think they knew this all along because Jalen Hurts was the guy to come and give them a spark. And they knew that. You don't draft a quarterback in the second round and he's just supposed to be a backup plan. No, that dude was a successor because they know that Carson Wentz gets hurt a lot. So they were saying to themselves, shit, we need an insurance policy. And Jalen Hurts is very underrated. Everyone swears up and down that this dude is not that good and all this other crap. And it's like, I was sleeping on the cat, man, and he out here winning. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that he's bad. I like Jalen Hurts. I liked him coming out of college. And I told people straight up, like, yo, man, you got to get on the train with this dude because he'll take you better. He'll take you places that, the Eagles wouldn't go with Carson Wentz. And I'm telling you, it's only going to get better if you keep Jalen Hurts in there and you don't allow him to wind up falling back. I think it's better for them to go with Jalen Hurts and stick with him. He seems to be the better viable option.
I'll tell you one thing, though, that I'm getting very dizzy looking at John's camera work.
Oh, yeah, because he just keep moving.
It's all over the place.
Jalen Hurts was really impressive this year, Dion. Absolutely. He was. I haven't watched him against, I think it was New Orleans, wasn't it, where he burned that team. He absolutely burned them, and
Jalen Hurts has got very, very good qualities.
Yeah, he's
when you saw him come out of college at Alabama, then transfer into Oklahoma. This kid's got talent.
That's hard.
This kid's got talent.
You don't go from like top notch programs like that from one to the other, man. That's a task, and and people slept on that. I felt like it was better.
I've got to go, folks.
Ivan's just got.
Right.
Ivan's hopping off because there's a rugby game on.
I'm exactly the same.
Wife.
Yep, I'm not going to lie.
No, that's fine. We are just about to. We're going to wrap this up anyway, guys, because I want to watch some egg chasing and not American egg chasing. Thanks to everyone that came on today. Thank you, Carl, Shark 1 and 2, Mr. Rogers, Ivan, Dion, John.
Go Bucks! Go Bucks!
This guy.
Oh, God. Where'd you get the camp?
Later, fellas.
Thing. Right, we're going. This has been the Shank Club. We will see you next week to discuss what happened in the Super Bowl. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wear that mask.
Good luck,
Let's
Scott.
Go. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Everybody be safe.